We all know the circle of fifths. It is the backbone of Western music harmony, right? But what if there is another circle? The circle of thirds? The circle of seconds? It is not standard, but it actually makes sense in a weirdly logical way. Hey, what's up? I'm James. Today I'm gonna show you what I found in a 1960s theory book, Vincent Persichetti 20th Century Harmony, and how it gave me a whole new way to write chord progressions. Throughout the history of Western music, it is well established that most harmonic progressions revolve around the three primary chords 1, 4, and 5, with the tonic dominant relationship 1 and 5 being the most common. That's still true even in today's pop music. By building on the wisdom of past musicians, composers, and theorists, we've ended up with a kind of harmonic roadmap. I'm sure you're all familiar with something like this. 1 can go anywhere, 4 and 2 are interchangeable, they go to 5 or 7, and then resolve back to 1. We musicians are no strangers to these formulas. But what if I told you there is another system that completely rewrites those routes? I'm going to share what I discovered after reading chapter 3 of Vincent Persichetti 20th Century Harmony, and how it opened up a new way for me to think about and create chord progressions. Let's use C major as an example. If you arrange it in fifths, starting from the tonic C, you get this pattern. Now let's put it into a circle. It's just a circle of fifths in C major. Then I'll add the diatonic chords. Persichetti writes, the dominant and subdominant balance the tonic on either side in intervals of a fifth, and these relationships, 5-1, 4-1, dominate all others. So, if we look at the circle, the two notes or chords on either side of the tonic are the ones that balance it. That's why in C major, the primary chords are C, F, and then G. That's just the circle of fifths. No surprise here, right? But then Persichetti suggests, what if we arrange these chords in thirds or seconds instead of fifths? And that's where things start getting interesting. First, let's arrange the C major scale in seconds and thirds respectively, and then convert them into circles. Just like how we took the two chords beside the tonic in the fifth cycle, 4 and 5, we can do the same in the circle of thirds or the circle of seconds. That gives us new primary chords. In the circle of thirds, now 3 act kind of like a dominant, and 6 act kind of like a subdominant. And same in the circle of seconds, 2 as the dominant, and 7 as the subdominant. According to Persichetti, the motion in these alternate cycles is parallel to that of the cycle of fifths, just through a different lens. We can build a chart comparing all three cycles using Roman numerals. Let's take a typical chord progression based on a cycle of fifths. Let's say 1, 5, 6, 4. It's typical pop progression, right? Now let's translate it into its equivalent in the cycle of thirds. Like most people, I'm accustomed to the sound of 5-1 relationship, so the version based on thirds might sound a bit unfamiliar, but also quite refreshing at the same time to me. So going back to our roadmaps, we now have two new pathways to explore, one based on the cycle of thirds, and one on the cycle of seconds. That means you now have more tools as a composer, new ways to move around harmony. Of course, if we only stick to diatonic chords, it can get a little bit boring. Composer dealt with this even in traditional fifth-based harmony, so they start borrowing chords from the relative minor, parallel minor, modal interchange, and so on. There are tons of tutorials on that already, so I won't go too deep into that subject. But we can apply the same concept here within the cycles of thirds and seconds. Let's use a basic 2-5-1 in C major as an example. This is clearly based on the fifth cycle. Now, let's borrow a chord. We'll turn the D minor into D minor 7 flat 5, taken from C harmonic minor. A common move in jazz. Then, we translate the progression into the cycle of seconds, which is 3, 2, 1. And then we're gonna borrow a flat 3 chord from C harmonic minor again. In this case, the chord is gonna be E flat major. So now we have E flat, D minor, C. To me, this string of thoughts still feels a bit too long when it comes to adding color. So here's my take. Let's adjust the roll map slightly so it no longer dictates chord qualities. Instead, treat each degree as a blank. You can shape the chord however you want depending on your musical needs. Let's say if I want my 3 to be a major, I can just do that. No need to ask whether it is in the key. If I want a flat 7 instead, I can do that too. That gives me more freedom when composing. With this new roll map, you can do whatever you want in your music. I actually wrote a short piece using this new technique, and here's the piece. For those interested, I'll also do a deep dive analysis of this piece in a separate video. One reason I made this video is because while studying Wayne Shorter's Footprint, I had a real aha moment applying these new cycles to that jazz standard, and there will be a separate video about that as well, so stay tuned. Reading 20th century harmony has been incredibly rewarding, even if some parts are still tricky to grasp. I've gained new perspectives on harmony and some great new tools for composing. Discovering new theories like this is where the real joy lies for me, and I wanted to share this with you as well. If you'd like to explore the diagrams and roadmaps from this video, you can download them for free on my Buy Me a Coffee page. I'll have the link down below. And of course, if you'd like to show your support, donations are always appreciated. Let me know what you think about this new way of looking at chord progressions in the comment section. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow my Instagram for more updates. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.